everyone, I'm Brenda Murray and this is Studio 56 Boutique, and today we're going to be hosting a free demo with our lovely friend David Morales. If you're new to Studio 56, welcome. Studio 56 hosts free demos like this one and artist interviews that you'll find on our YouTube channel at Studio 56 for Creatives. We also produce online workshops for artists, and we organize in-person vacation workshops for artists in gorgeous locations all around the world. So welcome, everyone. Let me tell you a bit about David Morales. David Morales is a Colombian architect and notebook artist who divides his time between Barcelona and his hometown in Ibagué, Colombia. David feels deeply passionate about capturing the beauty and worldly things in his notebooks. His notebooks are inseparable from his travels and architecture work. David's been drawing daily since 2018 when he started an artistic project called One Day, One Drawing, and has since made more than 4,000 sketches. So let's welcome David into the call.
Hello, Brenda. Hey, hello.
Welcome.
Hello, you guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So do you want to tell people where you are and what happened?
Well, actually, I was supposed to be home, but I got a big retention and I couldn't arrive. So I had to leave my car in the middle of the nowhere, and I'm walking home and I'm in halfway to arrive. So next time we see, I'll be at home for sure. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, you're in the middle of, yeah, it happens. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just so glad that you're here and that you have Wi-Fi. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks to Wi-Fi. Yeah. Thanks to technology, we can see each other. Yeah.
I know. Thank goodness. All right. So our exciting news is that David will be teaching an in-person sketching workshop in Granada, Spain this October. We're going to tour and sketch Alhambra Palace, a monastery, some cave dwellings. We're going to attend a flamenco dance. We're going to visit one of the hilltop villages that you see in southern Spain. And we're going to dip our toes in the Mediterranean Sea. And it's going to be super fun, and you're invited. So if you want more information about that, please visit www.studio56boutique.com. So
hope you dance. Hope you know how to dance flamenco. Do you know how to dance flamenco?
No, they really, we saw a flamenco dance when I was in Spain last May. We were in Seville, and we took the whole group to a flamenco dinner dance show, which is what we're going to be doing in Granada. And oh my goodness, the feet, the footwork.
I know.
Just
I don't know how to dance either. I know how to sketch.
Yeah. Much
more than dance, but yeah.
The footwork was very impressive with both the women dancers and the men dancers. It's amazing, and it's only in Spain. You can't really see that anywhere else.
No, you can see it anywhere. You can see it any other place. It's just, and actually, it's in the south of Spain. It's not a thing from the north. It's a thing from the south. So Granada and Seville is a perfect place to go and watch the things. And actually, my father-in-law is from Granada, and I know it very well. And it's a beautiful town. It's a small, beautiful town. And we're going to see the beautiful Alhambra, which is one of the most incredible buildings ever. I mean, it's just incredible. And maybe, hopefully, we get to sketch inside, but it's not a promise. But we might. And there's another lot of the cathedral is a very beautiful building, and there's La Cartuja. It's going to be amazing. And I mean, even just the streets outside are just beautiful. So it's time for today's demo. What I choose was it's a small church inside the Alhambra. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it in 3 parts. The first part is going to be the pencil lines, which I always do in the beginning. And then we're gonna start working with the fine liner. So we're gonna ink and give the sketch all the information about deepness. And then the third part, which is something that I don't do very commonly, but this time I'm just because sometimes it's nice and you want to give the sketch a little bit more of information, but the values. So I'm going to apply some color, which is going to be very easy, but I just wanted to give that kind of information to the sketch. So we're going to do three parts, and hopefully, I don't know if people is going to be able to follow me in this time, but I know it's going to be recorded, and then they can watch it again, and they can do it. But I would love to see everybody's interpretation of the same church, which is one of the most beautiful things when you sketch together.
Yeah.
When you go out to sketch, because it's the same building, but it's different eyes watching them, and then you can always bring something from other people's sketches, and that is something that I really like. And this time, and maybe when we sketch together in Granada, we can do the same thing. It's just all putting all together and just see what everybody comes out with their sketches.
You can
So
steal
yes.
ideas from other people.
Oh, definitely. You learn a lot from sketching with others. I mean, definitely. It's something that I try to do it remotely sometimes, doing my live sessions in Instagram. Sometimes I go out with a group of people. I don't do that much, but I really enjoyed it when it happens. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. So if people want to share their sketches with you so that you can see it, they should post it on social media. Can you explain what they should do?
Oh yeah, what they should do is tag Studio 56 and Studio 54 and Dava 22, which is my IG, my Instagram profile. And what we can do is share with on stories, and then everybody get to see everything, and they're just get together in when they tag us.
Yeah, so the tag is at Dava 22, at DAVA 22.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and we can
Pecky is asking, realistically, what level experience would best benefit from the workshop?
Say that again, please. Explain that.
She's asking, or he, I'm sorry, realistically, what level experience would best benefit from the workshop?
I don't understand the question. Could you explain it to me?
So I think Pecky is asking, is this, does the person need to be advanced to go to the Granada workshop?
No.
Or can it be a beginner?
No, I mean, if you're a very advanced sketcher, you get to enjoy. I mean, it's the joy to sketch with other people. But if you don't know anything about sketches, you're gonna love it anyway, because it is not about how beautiful the sketch is. It is just about the passion that you put into your notebook. It's the memory that you build when you sit in front. And I'm tired of saying this, and maybe people that knows me is saying this guy is going to tell the same thing again, but I just don't get tired telling this thing. I mean, it's just, I swear, it's the joy of in a couple years just to open that book again and remember every single moment that you spend sitting in front of a church or in front of somebody or in that place, sketching for a couple hours, that thing. And it doesn't even matter if it's a perfect sketch or just a try. And I mean, if you don't know anything about sketches, you're gonna love it. If you do, you're gonna love it too, but you already know what it is to sketch. And if
you're building on what you already know, if you've done it before. So and there's no comparison. Like this,
not at all.
What we're about. Nobody's competing for anything.
It's never a competition. It's just the path, I mean, it is. I don't even know how to explain it with words, but I know somebody that had sketched before knows exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't sketched before, I swear you're gonna love it. You're gonna like it, and then you won't understand traveling without sketching.
That's true. That is so true. So I'll just say a couple of things. I've traveled all over the world, and for most of my life without a sketchbook. Only in the last 10 years, I would say, I started sketching. And now when I'm thinking about traveling, if I don't think it's a place that has interesting things to sketch, I'm not going there.
No, but I have to say that there's always something to sketch. And if you follow my feed, you will find that is something that I really like, is to find beauty in the simple things. The beauty in a can of Coke, the beauty in a teapot, the tree. I mean, everything is sketchable if that word even exists.
Yeah, it's true. It's really true. And Pecky is also asking what materials and supplies will be needed. So I'm just going to answer that briefly. Generally speaking, David will give everybody a supply list, but generally speaking, you really want to bring supplies that you're comfortable with. So, you don't have to do it exactly the way David's doing it, but if you want to learn from him and learn his skills and how, all his secrets, then it's advised that you, purchase the things that are on his supply list. But you don't have to. You can just bring along whatever sketching supplies you're most comfortable with. Do you
Yes,
agree,
but
David?
basically what we're going to need, I mean, the basic supplies are the sketchbook, a pencil, and fine liners. And when I say fine liners, it could be even a ball pen,
Yeah.
A roller ball pen.
Yeah.
But what I use is fine liners. If you want to bring watercolor, I will bring watercolor, and we're going to use it as we're going to use it today. But I usually go very light. When I go out, I just have my notebook and my fine liners. And usually I use one or two. So you go very light. So it's because I really want to sketch everywhere. And I don't want to be carrying a big bag with the whole package of,
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You just really want to travel as light as possible and not carry a lot of stuff. So Pecky says, Dave is an amazing artist. He makes a mango look extra delicious.
Thank you. I love to sketch fruits. That is something that I really, really like to do. Well, actually, fruits and vegetables and everything is in season, because what I like to do is to sketch my surroundings. That's it. And vegetables and fruits. When I'm in Colombia, they're so different from what I get here. And when I'm here, all the seasons that we don't have in Colombia, it amazes me how it jumped from the kiwi to the orange to the cherries to the strawberries. Every month is a different one, and I really like to enjoy. I really enjoy sketching those things.
So cool. So cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to get started. Everybody should have in front of them their sketchbook and their materials. And I sent everyone a link to the reference photo that you can print off if you like. And so while we do this demo, David is going to drive home.
Gonna fly home.
Because this is a pre-recorded demo, and thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Oh, yeah, I was thinking that when I was coming here. I was like, oh, thank God, it's pre-recorded.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Stuff happens, and you have to be able to laugh about things, because especially when you're traveling internationally, things happen and you have to just laugh it off and say, that's okay, I'm going with the flow.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to start our demo, and David's going to quickly jump in his car and drive home and try not to get into an accident. And he will pop in at the end of the workshop and say hi to everyone. So, all right, David, thank you so much.
Okay.
You're going to turn off your
bed, and hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Well, hello, and welcome one more time to a free demo. This time we are going to sketch this little church in the Alhambra, inside the Alhambra's palace in Granada. Sorry about the reflection of the light, but this is our reference. And the first thing that we are going to do is to frame this on the sketchbook. This is a hot press paper. It's a nature sketchbook. It's A5 size, horizontal A5 size. And since the picture is a horizontal picture, we're gonna do it on the same format. Okay, so let's go for it. First thing, we're gonna place the tower, which is, if you see, there's very light, very soft lines. These lines that I'm making here. just to frame the main subject. In this point, we can decide if what we're going to sketch is an interpretation or we are trying to copy reality. And in both cases, the experience of paying attention will be almost the same. And I will try to develop that idea while we talk. While I talk. Okay. I'm trying to see a little bit of proportions here. So I was mistaken here. And then this one is a little bit longer. And then we have the roof, which is kind of longer. And I think I'm mistaken this. And I'm gonna move this tower to the left because I want to sketch the whole roof. And I was like placing the tower in the middle of my page and it's not correct. So I'm gonna move it a little bit to the left. Okay. First I place it and then I'll erase the other lines. I'm gonna place it here. So let's just erase these lines. Okay, that's it. And this is sometimes the reason why I use the pencil. There is this tree and then the other tree here, and this is going to be, and I'm going to decide not to sketch the whole pond in front because I'm gonna try to focus on the building. And I always try to go from general to specifics. So I'm gonna place like the main or the principal parts. The parts that I see that are most relevant, and then I try to go for the details. See, now I can place those windows and recheck my proportions. Yes, I think that will be almost it. Okay, yes, I think that could be it. Yes, now let's get the fine liners. This is gonna be the 005, which I normally use for most of my sketches. And let's get the 02. And maybe we can use the 07 for darker values, okay? Okay, let's go for it. The first thing that I'm going to do is to place my darker values. I'm going to do it with 005, so I won't get dot dark. I mean, I will be doing like the first layer of those dark values. So now that I put my basic lines, I know here is this really dark window with the flags. And now I just pay attention to the light and the shadows. I'm not even thinking about what it is, it's just trying to see the light. So, and inking the shadow. I mean, if you see the light, you ink the opposite, which is the shadow. Okay, there it goes. And now we have this line here and the shadow there, but since it's not very dark, I'm just going to do this. I'm sorry again. It always happens to me when I try to concentrate in something that I don't see it clearly. I just can't talk. So if you guys don't hear my voice, it's just because I'm just concentrate on what I'm doing. Anyway, okay, it's just again, I'm doing the same thing I did with the pencil. I'm just putting some lines there just to place things and rechecking proportions. Yes. Okay. Here it goes. See how far I take my pen. It's just because when you take your pen like really close to the nib, your lines tend to be harder and they try to be very specific, very, very detailing. But if you take it from like really far away from the nib, it's easy to do loose lines, and that's what I try to do until I find the right line. And that's the one you want to be like darker. So I'm going very lightly with the lines here. There is a dark value here, which is that arc, and okay. See the difference between those two trees. It's important. And here there's like a very dark shadow because the trees are all close together and the church is there also, so light will it's not arriving to that point, so it's very dark. So I'm just going to put some first layer of the darker values there. Okay. Okay, and now this one. Yes, a little bit longer. Yeah, something like that. Okay. There's the other part of the building here, and I'm going like fast with this first layer, but you can also do line by line with a more controlled layer, and it will work almost the same. It's just depending on how spontaneous you want those lines to be. Now we know that there's this black spot, a black line here, which is the end of the roof. And let's not pay much attention to the tiles on the roof yet, because I want to get first the darker values, and then we'll get there. This is something like that. Okay. I'm always trying to recheck proportions with every line. And if you see, I'm not even, sometimes I don't follow the lines that I made previously. It's just because I'm, again, finding the disproportions that I made before. Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, and this is, that's, yeah, I mean, my theory, and, well, actually it's not my theory, but it is the reason why I sketch the things that I visit, or the things that I live, or the situations that I want to remember. The reason why I do it is because through drawing, I learn how it's built, or how that works. I mean, for example, in this case, I could pay attention to the distance between those doors, the distance or the proportion between this part of the building on the other part, these two parts. I mean, this one is almost the same size of this one, but not exactly. And then the bottom line, the bottom part that I'm now paying attention to, it is not as long as this middle part. So as an architect, those things those things really interest me. And I feel like I learn through uh, through sketching. I learn how this building was made. Even if you don't get it right, if you mistake, then when you finish, you look at the original and then you see that you have some disproportions, and that makes you be aware of reality, if you know what I mean. So through error, through mistake, you also learn. So I'm just trying to um, focus on those things, but sometimes I just decide uh, not to pay that much, or not to take that reality into my sketchbook, but just have fun and while I pay attention. But if you don't get it exactly right, it just don't matter that much. See, I just keep placing darker values with my fine liner. Now I find the first big mistake. See the distance between the tower and the first window is, I did it like very far away and it's really close in the picture, but now I won't be able to do anything. But I just found out about that, so I'm just gonna integrate it in my sketch and just not pay much attention to that anymore. But I know this one is closer in reality than what I did, so I'm just gonna live with it, and that's it. Now the other one is almost behind this little chimney here, but it's like here. Since this is like a really dark shadow, I don't pay much attention to how I make my layers, because if you know, cross hatching has 4 layers. You can do 4 layers: horizontal and vertical ones, and the 2 diagonals. That will make the black, like the darker value. But if you get into the black, you can go like directly by just scribbling lines, like I'm doing right now. I will pay more attention when it's not like really dark. Like in the midtones, I pay much more attention to the lines. Okay, and the other window is like here, yes. Okay, This one is it's all dark. There is this palm tree here. We're just going to pay attention to the dark values and no to the light, and just leave the light alone, because every line into the light will make it darker. So sometimes it's even more important the things that you leave alone than the ones that you mark. It's very important, very, very important. The parts of the sketch that you don't touch, because that is the light. And without light, you will not understand what's going on. Actually, light is the key. Okay. There is this shadow here. And the fourth window is like under this, like here. And the other things that when you sketch, when you draw, it's about control. It's about what is the supply or the tool that gives you more control of what you of the drawing or the painting that you're doing. And when it goes to ink, I find the fine liners are very easy to control. And when you work by layers, it's even easier to control what you're doing. The only thing that you need is just patience to be able to do layer after layer. And see, and this is the order. So I move everything, all the windows, I moved it to the right. And now I find out that this window is closer to the end of the building, to the corner of the building, than it is in the picture that I have as reference. But again, it don't matter to me right now. It doesn't matter, because I already know it. I mean, I know it is like that, and I'm paying attention to it while I'm looking at the picture, and I see the distance between those windows and the roof is closer in the window in the picture than I did it here. But again, it doesn't matter, but I already know. So that's why I say that drawing makes you learn and help you to understand how things are made. But you have to be, like, for me, you have to be in, not to rush too much. I mean, it needs a little bit of time to find out those things that I'm saying. if you go too fast, it's like taking a picture. You take a picture, it takes you 30 seconds to take a picture. So it's not long enough for you to pay attention to what you're seeing, to what you're seeing. But when you sketch, you stop and think about it and pay attention. And that's something that I really like about sketching, because I know that I'm concentrated on what is in front of me in a way that I don't do it with any other action. And now there is a shadow. And in these shadows, I'm going to start doing my layers. Much more control. Because those are not the darker values. So I want to control them much more. I want to arrive to the exact value, or at least try to arrive to the right value. Okay. Again, it doesn't matter exactly where those windows are. Okay. And here is another shadow. And we can do it with, in this case, a diagonal. Then we will do another layer when we put when we place them all, we can add another layer. Okay. See, by placing like this dark tree here, you start like understanding the roof, because the dark spots pop the light spot up. And now we can do these tiles. Okay. not going to go too far away with this fine liner because it's very thin, and I could, but it will take me a longer time to arrive to very dark value with this very thin nib. So I'm just placing the objects in my sketch, and then I will change the nib. There are some shadows here. Okay. Okay, let's do this shadow here, for example. You can use any direction that you want, but in my case, I'm going to do vertical lines to do those shadows to arrive to the value that I want. Okay, and now all this facade is in the shadow, so let's go for it. This window is like a very light window, so let's leave it there. And there is something going on here. These plants are in the light, so I try to respect that light. Okay, and the palm, it's in the light, so I'm gonna outline it a little bit to respect it. Yes, let's go. The outline has to be very, very, very thin because it would look funny if you outline it too much. And there is some dark leaves here. Okay. Okay, And now we could go darker, and if we do, we're gonna use a different direction, because okay, and see what I mean, like that, and all the part that is just closer to the roof is a little bit darker. So let's add another layer closer to the top. And for some reason, close to the corner of the building is also darker. So okay, so you see how we start adding these shadows, and now we're gonna go on the next direction. And okay, I forgot all about these plants here, that we can just avoid them by doing this and showing that there is something going on there, but I forgot about those plants. Anyway, there is this. Okay. There's some stone walls here, but in between there has to be like this line of light between them, because if we don't do it, it gets very confused. And again, that's how I say that you have to pay attention to the light, and you have to pay attention to the spots that you are not touching. And I can add another layer. Okay, more or less. And this one is much darker. Then we can get very dark with the other fine liner. Okay, let's do some titles here. Well, nah, let's do it again. Let's do it later. I'm gonna put the pond border. And okay. Okay. That's the border. things going on around here, some shadows, and I just, oh, I'm getting too close to the pond. But I don't really care what's going on here, just to give the impression that there's some stuff here. Then we can work a little bit more on that part, but for now we're gonna just leave it like that. Yes. Okay, now let's go to the other side. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do something to show you the next step just in here. Let's go to I'm gonna work with the O2, which is thicker than the 005. It means that it has 0.2 millimeter. 0.2 millimeter, yeah. So I can go darker on those places that I need to go darker. And again, I start doing my layers. Okay. So it's much more easy to arrive to the darker values with a thicker nib, but we need to be patient and go like slowly, because if we overcook the darker values, you can go back. You can always add things, but you cannot go back. So my advice for you is to go slowly to arrive layer by layer to the values that you need to arrive. See, there's in the reference, there are some lights in those trees, and I just put like very dark, so I cannot get the light here, and it gets like very dark, and I cannot go back. I mean, it doesn't matter, but because it's still is a tree, but but I cannot get the lights that are in the reference here because I overcooked the dark value. So I cannot go back. So you have to be careful with that. Now we are going to do the titles. We just have to find the direction, and this is the direction. Okay, let's continue with the until here, yes. Okay. Okay, this is the direction of those tiles there. Okay, and we can add some other layer here to make this shadow here, and this side of these little towers on the shadow also, and the front one is too. And this one has to be darker, so let's add a layer in this direction. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and we can work a little bit more on the roof, but getting this, adding another line. I'm just trying to, I don't know, trying things just to make the roof looks like the direction has a meaning. I mean, I'm trying to make the roof, and I'm trying to render the roof better than I did before. Okay. And now let's work a little bit here. There is a shadow here, and we can start with the vertical layer. Okay, the shadow is a little bit more like that, but it doesn't matter. It just, and another layer. And all this side is in the shadow. So let's go for it. You can imagine or like think that you are just giving the shadows information to your drawing. And then we can add the color information. Let's not think about color right now. We're thinking just about light and shadows. Lights and shadows, yes. I find that way of thinking easier because sometimes you can get confused by color and you don't understand what is lighter and what is even the same value but different color, and that is something weird to sometimes to understand. But by understanding everything in shadows, for me, it's a different way to understand reality and easier to find the actually the shadows, because color maybe sometimes it's harder and it's a distraction to understand shadows or to understand the light. Let's see. Okay, and I'm working on a, maybe it's a 200 grains, and it has some texture because I'm gonna apply watercolor after it finish with the cross hatching. And since since the paper has the texture, it's hard for me sometimes to work with this nib, but we already start with this and I'm gonna finish with it. So, but it's because of the texture that sometimes it's harder. Yes, and I'm going to give this size up. Let me see. I'm gonna add some lines in the direction, on the bricks direction. So and the same here. I'm gonna do the same here. Okay, and yes. let's work a little bit on this side of the building. Okay. Now I'm gonna start working on those dark values again because I already placed everything and I just need to go darker to create this sense of deepness. And again, when you work on the midtones, you have to be much more careful with the layers that you do with your cross hatching, and try to control much more those lines to unify the value you're making. Otherwise, it will look much more like a texture than a value, and we don't want that. We're working on values, not on textures, unless you want to do a texture, like when you do the tree. Again, I'm gonna add a little bit more of strokes here because this wall is darker than the rest. And we have to add until we arrive to the value that we want. And since I already did this direction, I need to be very careful. Otherwise, it will look weird if you start doing the same direction too many times. It won't look right. Okay, let's do darker values of the tree. Okay, and it's just the feeling that there are some trees back there, but I'm not going to copy them because I was trying to pay much more attention on my building than the trees. So it doesn't matter that much. Okay. Let's work a little bit on this couple of windows. Okay. And now we can work on the water because there are some also dark values there. Work a little bit on the reflection. Just let's place them. Okay. And see, reflections obviously are in the vertical line of the window, so the dark values are the ones that are reflecting the most. So I try to place them where I sketched them, not where I see them in the reference. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. More or less, those are like the places where I'm going to go darker, and then we do the midtones. So let's go. Okay. See, just like that, we just made that poem with just a couple of strokes. You can see the reflection there. Okay. And now I'm going to work a little bit more on the midtones. And this one. Okay. Okay. There's some stuff going on here. Sorry about my computer. I'm gonna try to turn this off. Yes, sorry about that. Just have my computer with the reference also. And I forgot to turn the speakers off. Okay. Yeah, we can go faster with these trees here. There's a shadow here, like this, and then this other tree here. And let's work on the value of this tree. So we are doing some layers. Actually, I don't like how this W5 is working on this paper, because of the texture, the lines are not continuous, and I would like for it to go a little bit more smooth. But since we are adding some watercolor, I decided to work on this paper. But it's not the best paper for inking. Okay, let's do the last layer. And then we start doing the shadows. See, trees are not about leaves. When you sketch, trees are much more about light and shadow than leaves, and that is something that it costs a lot to understand. Sometimes when I started doing nature or drawing nature, I used to pay attention to how the leaves were and try to emulate those leaves in the sketching. But then I understand it's much more about the difference between the light and the shadow. So it looks much more realistic, or much more closer to reality when you pay attention to the shadows or the volume than pay attention to the leaves. It's about the structure of that tree. See? And this is how okay, and this is it. And let's get this corner, this side of the building a little bit darker. Okay. Yes. And okay. As I say, I'm not gonna pay much attention to this tree here, but I just want to place it, and then I'm going to do a layer, a couple of layers over these shadows. And again, let's go back to the thinner nib, place those dark values. See, I'm doing this trick just the opposite way of I did this. I first did all the value, the general value, and then did the darker ones. In this case, I'm going to do the darker ones first, and then do the general value. So you can approach to the object just the way you want. By first placing the dark values and then the midtones, or placing on doing the midtones and then the dark values. It's just up to you. It shouldn't be any difference. And let's use the okay. And okay. Now this is going to be, let's see. Okay. Just give me a second. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn this off. And let's proceed. Okay, let's do the tree body and midtone. If you see, since my nib is very thin, it doesn't mark much, but the O2 maybe is too much, so I'm going even like slower than I usually do because of the texture of the paper, but I prefer that than overcook my drawing. See, we are arriving to the tone by adding layer over layer a little bit more. And I'm planning only giving the building the color information. So I don't want to use much colors. I might use only one color. So the rest has to be made by the cross-hatching, has to be made by ink. So that's why it's important to do the tones, so right to the tones that we need, to the values that we need, because that is the only way to achieve volume and deepness. Okay. Um, yeah, we can now add some of the things that are going on here, but let's just do it very fast. Let me work with the O2. See, until now we just have been using the 005 and the O2. But you could do only with the O2 or only with the 005. It just depends on what you want, what you need, and how you feel comfortable arriving to the values. Okay. Let me see how by getting darker, these places here, they just look lighter. But it's just because we got darker the surroundings. And then you can see the light here and see the light here, but it's just because everything else is darker. Okay, I just feel like I want to start adding watercolor, but once I start, I wouldn't want to come back to use the ink, but maybe I will need to. We'll see another problems, and we might want to solve them with the ink. So I'm not sure if I'm going to come back to ink, but I feel like I want to at least add some watercolor here. So if you pay attention, this is like there's a red and there's green on the trees, there's yellow on the grass, and there is this red, like brick red, that it has this like very similar color with the roof. So I'm gonna try to use just one color for the whole building. And this is this like brick color. I'm just gonna add this red. And okay, I'm trying to not add it to the window so the reflection is lighter. Okay, yes, that's what I wanted to do. And the roof, the same thing. And the whole building is now okay. Let's respect the palm tree. Yes. Okay, everything needs that color info. And now we add some more. Let's go darker. It's not the same color. It's just it has a little bit more of pigment, but it's the same color. Okay. So as you see, I can go like very, very fast because all the ink is what gives us the volume information. This is only the color info. And so I can go faster and I can see like the results very easy. And I can go same thing, same color, a little bit more of pigment, less water, I mean. And yes, while we wait for it to dry a little bit more, we can go back to the trees. And add some more layers. And maybe, yes, I'm gonna do it. Things that I don't want to put my hands on the wet, so it's gonna be hard to do this layer, but let's try. Okay, well, that was hard because I couldn't put my hands on the paper, and you need like a point of support to do the lines easier. And okay. Okay. And we can pour just a little bit on this grass, just to if you leave it like lighter, it will confuse between the sky and the grass. So I'm just gonna put one layer. On the grass, and it can be like the one that I'm doing, vertical or horizontal, but it's just to give the sensation that there is not the lighter thing on the scene. See, and because the lighter object on the scene is the border of the pond, but by getting the grass darker, you will see the only way you can see the border. We could also outline it, but look what happens when you just do the grass and leave it there. You immediately start seeing the border of the pond. Same here. So you don't have to outline everything. It's just the difference between lights and shadows, what make your eyes understand the different materials or different subjects on the scene. And we can just add some textures on the grass, and there's things going on there, And you can complicate it as much as you want, but let's just keep it simple. Because what I was interested in was the building and not the rest of the scene. Now we can just start adding some more information and getting into details in the parts that I'm interested in detailing a little bit more, but we are arriving to the end. And as I say, it doesn't even matter if it looks like the one you have in front of you, if you're sketching outside, or it doesn't look like the building in your reference. The important thing is that you pay attention to what you were sketching. So hopefully you now know a little bit more about the proportions, how tall the building is, and when you finish, you start like comparing the building in your photo or the building in front of you with your sketch, and then you see the difference, and that's when you really understand the building, because you already sketched it. We were, what is that, like how hour and a half paying attention to the same building. So for sure, now you know much more about this building than before we start sketching it. So that is one of the things that really inspired me to sketch different subjects and different realities and animals or faces, because I can apply the same knowledge that we have here. I can apply it to every single thing, to nature, to cars, or anything that you think that you know or you want to know more. It's an object to sketch. So maybe I can stop right here, and yes, let's apply a little bit more of pigment. Just the last one. Okay. And I think, my friends, this could be it for now. We could add another layer, maybe the green layer or the yellow in the grass, and you can give it another, or the sky, or whatever. But in my case, I just wanted to remember the building and all the information that I put there. I could also write things and that I would like to remember. For example, if it was in plein air, anything that happens that just was something, a duck came and whatever, and you can add this as notes, and it will complete the whole experience. I mean, now you have the values and the form information, you have the color information, and then you could have little tales information of that day that you were sketching this building, because what's important is the experience of observing and living in front of this object for a couple hours. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I can wait to see your interpretations of this drawing, and hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, David. You're so much for that amazing sketch. That was lovely. I'm pretty sure everybody had a wonderful time. Really enjoyed that a lot and learned a lot. And people are commenting about how much they learned today. So that's super nice. Thank you, David.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and so this is the second free demo that our lovely friend David has done for us. And so his first one was called Wine and Olives, and you can see it on the Studio 56 for Creatives YouTube channel. So if you're a David Morales fan, go there and look it up. And it's a beautiful demo that he did already. Thank you, David. You're so generous with your time. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. I really enjoy doing it, and sometimes it's hard for me to explain it while I'm doing it, because I'm not used to sketch and talk.
Yeah.
So I do better the sketching, I believe, than the talking. But hopefully that's what you want to believe. But well, hope people understood all that I have to say. And by watching, sometime you can. I mean, you don't even have to understand, but you can
Yeah.
see how slowly it's building up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people liked it, and yeah, and I want to see everybody's creation, of course.
Yeah, good. Yes, it is hard to sketch and talk exactly at the same time. Usually you can sketch and then you stop and talk to a person and then you go back to sketching. But to do it at the same time because you're on camera, it's like using two different parts of your brain.
Yes.
And
yes.
I do it all the time with my group, and I forget whole words. I'm like, oh my gosh. And you're doing it in English and it's not even your first language. So you're amazing. You are amazing.
Yeah, I had to use my third part of the brain.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
translating.
I don't know how you do it. Well, everyone, thank you so much. And thank you to the new people who popped in, and this is their first time visiting on a Studio 56 free demo or interview. We really appreciate that you're here. And thanks to all our faithful people. I look and I see, wow, this person has come to 15 different demos or interviews with Studio 56.
Wow.
So nice that you guys keep coming back, and I love you guys, and I really appreciate that you're here. And so if you're new and you want to know about upcoming free demos and interviews, and I'm having one on Sunday with the amazing Pat Southern Pierce from the UK, is going to be showing her gorgeous sketches that she does. That she just filled a sketch. She spent 2 months in Australia and filled the whole sketchbook with gorgeous sketches. So we're going to do a show and tell on Sunday. And so registration for that free interview is closing tonight. So if you want to attend, please go and get your ticket at www.studio56boutique.com. And the pull down menu is called Free Stuff. And if you click there, you should see a place where you can get your ticket for Pat's interview on Sunday. And also please subscribe to our newsletter so you can find out about all the new and upcoming things that are happening. David, you have a newsletter, right?
Yes, I do. I have a newsletter that I try to send every month, like telling my things and my thoughts and what I'm going to sketch. And well, I try to tell my life in newsletter.
Okay.
So if you guys want to subscribe, you have to go to my profile, and there are the highlighted stories.
Wait, profile on Instagram.
On Instagram, yes.
Yeah.
And on top of the feed, you can see the highlighted stories. And I believe the second one, I mean, the first one is about the Granada vacation workshop, and the second one is about the newsletter. So you get there, so you get in there, and you follow the link, and then you just subscribe, and you will get my newsletter. Yeah.
Yeah. And is it in English or Spanish?
I read it in both. Yeah.
You're amazing.
I read it. I mean, I try to write it in English and then translate it to Spanish, but then it just depends on how I think, about the things that I'm writing, that it just come out in Spanish, then I translate it to English, and vice versa, depending on what language I'm thinking about it,
So lots of comments, people saying thank you so much, everyone, for coming. So this free demo today was about a chapel in Alhambra the Alhambra complex in Granada. And if you're interested in finding out more about David's upcoming Granada workshop, in-person Granada workshop, 5 days. We described it at the beginning, and it's going to be super fun in October. If you want to find out more information about that, go to the website, www.studio56boutique.com, where you got the ticket to be here, and do the pull down menu called travel workshops, and you'll see more information about David's Granada workshop in October. The deadline to register is May 27th. So if you're interested, don't delay or you'll miss your chance. You have to register with your deposit by May 27th to hold your place in the workshop. And so that you know, we have some other great workshops coming up in September. We've got Pat Southern Pierce is going to be in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. And we have tickets available for that workshop. Hazel Sohn is going to be in Florence in September. A few tickets left, not many. Hugo Costa is going to be in Rome in September. And as I said, David's going to be in Granada, Spain, and that's going to be wonderful. Kusha Kuna will be in Malta with us in November, teaching a workshop there. Stephanie Bauer is going to be in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico in February. And Brian Jernigan, an abstract acrylic painter. That's my first time taking a group. Yeah, with abstract acrylic painting. And so if you're interested in abstract acrylic painting, Brian Jernigan is going to be teaching a workshop with us also in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico in February. And Alex Hilkirk will be with us in Provence, the Hilltop Villages of Provence, in April next year. So lots of great workshops coming up, but we really want to focus your attention on Granada, then say thanks to David and come along and have a wonderful time with this super talented and cheerful urban sketcher and architect. So thank you everybody for coming. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me or David. And thank you, David, for this beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah. All right, everyone, don't forget to post your sketches and hashtag us. We'd love to see them. Thank you, David, so much. All right.
Bye-bye, Brenda. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.